What's going on, guys? Rolled here, and today we are looking at Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is a very popular game at the moment, at least for a certain crowd. I've been playing it non-stop for the last week and a half now. It's Tuesday night when I'm recording this, but I figured I just finished the game over the weekend. I figured it'd be a perfect time to actually take a look and see exactly how well I appreciate the game and let you guys know who are thinking of buying the game that this might actually be a good purchase for you. So let's dive right in. So with Sekiro, as you can see, there are there's so much to this game. Like the story is great. I'm kind of rushing through on the video for you guys because I don't want to spoil any of it for you. But points I'd like to get on is this is a very relatable to Dark Souls and their style of games. There's also a game out there, not I don't know how popular it actually got, but it was called Neo. Neo is very similar to this style of game as well, and I'll relate it to Neo just for the fact that it's a Japanese style. But if you like the Dark Souls series, you are most likely gonna like this one. I highly recommend it for anyone who likes to struggle with the combat and bosses and all that kind of stuff. This does not hold your hand. And if you're a veteran Dark Souls player like I was or am, this will kill your muscle memory because your muscle memory tells you to roll. Do not roll. I can't stress that enough. Rolling in this game, or really sidestepping, is really what it does. You don't really roll in this game. But doing that is not gonna do as well for you as blocking and parrying. So, like I said, very difficult game. There's different perspectives. When you're in combat, you've got to pay attention to your health and you got to pay attention to your posture. Your posture is that little bar that will appear for you down at the bottom. As you can see right now, I should be in some combat. And if you give it just a second, you can see that bottom bar right there is just my posture bar. In quick fights, it only pops up just real quick, but if you have longer fights and you're blocking and you're parrying a lot more, it'll be there and it'll be prominent, and you need to make sure that doesn't overfill. Otherwise, your stance will break and you will be open to an attack. Now, at the same time, very few NPCs can actually capitalize on that little fact, but the harder it gets, the easier it is for the NPCs to actually do that kind of stuff to you. And then you have bosses. You got your big bad bosses at the end of a line, and then you got the mini bosses. The mini bosses are going to be like this first one that will come across here in just a little bit. They'll usually just have they'll have like two finishing blows you'll have to do on them. It's the best way I can describe it for you. Um, they're difficult. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll probably die. Now, I make this look a whole lot easier than it is, just for the fact that, like I said, I played through this game already, and I know how to parry, and it's just been built into me at this point in time. Going through the game on this normal difficulty that I started it at is nothing to me. In the first part of the game, you'll come across an alternate timeline. Well, not really an alternate timeline. It's more like you're going back in the past, and you're actually reviewing Sekiro's past, and you're actually seeing what happened, what led up to him being in the hole is where you start off at and everything. But it is really good. I honestly, I, if nothing else, personally will recommend it to anyone who's played a Dark Souls game and has actually enjoyed a Dark Souls game. If you didn't, this game might not be for you. And that's fair. I mean, these harder style games are not for everyone, and that's okay. And for the record, I am making this look very easy through the run through. Like it's it, it's much more difficult than it actually is when you first join in. Now, let's get into the categories that I rate these games at. We went over them with Factory Town, the difficulty, the creativity, and the replayability. The difficulty of the game. Now, I had to take a step back because, yes, it's difficult, but is this the hardest game I've ever played? That is hard. That is a hard thing for me to be like, okay, this is definitely the hardest game I've played. Because I've played the original Dark Souls game, the first one. Well, technically it's the second one in the series, but the first Dark Souls. And that I played it on the PC before they actually fixed some of the problems. And I actually beat it before they fixed the problems for the PC version. That was difficult. That was very difficult. And if anyone else has played that and actually beat that, it's still not even perfect on the PC. And it's a very difficult game due to the control setup and the way they didn't have it optimized for the PC version. So, on a 10 out of 10 basis, I'm hesitant, but I'm going to give it a 9.5 because it is difficult. It's very difficult, and I can't stress that enough. I love the game because it was so difficult. Um, but on that point also, I don't want to rank it as a 10 because I don't know if I can actually honestly say this was the hardest game I've ever played. Okay, moving on to the creativity of the game. Is it there? Yes. This is a unique style game. The combat system is completely unique compared to others. Um, like even Neo has a different combat system than this, even though that was a Japanese style. Dark Souls and this aren't even in the same league in terms of combat styles. So the creativity is there. So, and personally, I love what the developers did. The style of the game came out perfect. Like I cannot complain at the style of the game they came out with. And I can't stress that enough because they did it really good. Really good. And I'm excited that this is what they came out with because this is what I was wanting from this game. When I first saw this game, I was like, finally something new, something different from just a normal basic Dark Souls, but it's from the same company and Activision, but that's a whole other thing. But nonetheless, they did a great job. So for creativity, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. And I know some people might be, oh, that's a little low. That you just stated it had creativity and everything, and it does. But at the same time, it's not the first of its kind. The combat's unique to this game, yes, but that's usually how it goes game to game. Um, besides the three Dark Souls games, their combat systems were so similar that if I looked at them, I couldn't really tell the difference. But the style of the game has been done before. It's not a brand new game, nothing like that. Um, brand new style of game, I should say. Um, So yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And I think that's a fair ranking because it is creative and they've done great with it. And I'm just, I'm absolutely amazed. Um, yeah. And then going on to replayability. The replayability in the game is absolutely there. I trust me. This footage you're seeing right now is me creating a new game and starting from the very beginning. I'll tell you right now, I've already beaten. Um, I've already gotten farther than where I was here. I'm right here. I'm just kind of giving you the show, just showing you the combat abilities, showing you like just the combat style and everything in general. Um, and just showing you, okay, this is what happens when all this and all that kind of stuff. But I have gotten farther than right here, right now. And trust me, I've been enjoying every second of it. And then on top of that, the other version of the game that I have actually complete, I'm on New Game Plus. And trust me, I'm going at that with topmost difficulty. There is a demon bell that you can ring to make the game more difficult. You can give away a charm that will make it more difficult. And I'm doing everything possible to make this game, more difficult on New Game Plus as I can. I've been the first boss, which is the horse rider for me. I take him out first, and then I'm gonna go see Madam Butterfly. Which, if you play this game, you'll understand exactly who they are. But I beat that horse rider, and let me tell you, in the amount of time I've played Dark Souls games, I've never faced a boss that made me want to throw my controller halfway across the room as much as that horse rider did. I beat him earlier today, and honestly, I'm really glad I was able to because it was just amazing, and I can't express that enough. So, for replayability, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because there are different endings to the game. There are so many different things to this game that I believe full well if you enjoy the base game, you're gonna want to replay through it again and maybe try to get a different ending. Maybe you missed something. Maybe you're gonna want to go back and check it out again. Find all the nooks and crannies that you weren't able to find the first playthrough. So, 9 out of 10 for replayability. So for the game overall, like I've been going on here this entire time. It's fantastic. I love it, and I highly recommend it to anyone. But with the scoring that I've given it for the difficulty, the creativity, and the replayability of it, I have to give this game a total score of 8.3, which I'll round up to 8.5.